All right, is that better? There we go. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. So let me know. See if I can get this thing a little bit more adjusted here, just in case. What's going on, folks? We're trying this one again, going a little more live again. All right, so tell me, is this working? When you jump on there, let me know if I am sideways again, because if I am, I'm just gonna say, screw it to the tripod, I'm just gonna hold the phone. How's that? Working for everybody? I am no longer sideways. Thank you. I see the likes. I love it. Cool. So in this, what we're going to be, excellent. Perfect. I know exactly what I did wrong. There we go. That's the way. Oh, thank you so much. That's how to overcome technology. I'm excited. So really quickly, this is going to be a fun one. What's up, Garrett? Man, we haven't talked in forever, dude. What's going on? Sweet. Everybody, yeah, absolutely. Say hi. This is really cool. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, as you know, and this is day one. And the umbrella theme with this is becoming a six-figure author, or if you're already a six-figure author, let's add another one on top of that. And so essentially what I'm going to be covering in all of these videos, it's the stuff that's working now. Yeah, what's up, Garrett? What's going on? Julia, oh, I love you, girl. What's going on? And that's the other thing I want to make sure, now that you are all in the association, what you're going to want to do is watch that video. Now, it was never supposed to be a video. But it's in editing right now for the audio. It's going to be on the Author Platform Rocket podcast with the transcripts. I know lots of folks ask for those things, and so that's what I'm going to be. It's weird. I'm looking on the screen here, watching the little people say what's going on. Excellent. So yeah, I want to really quickly, before I drop some info for you, and I'm going to give you 2 action steps on how you can set yourself up for success from jump. Let me give you a really quick sort of bird's eye overview of what we're going to be doing over the next 30 days at least. So there's going to be quite a bunch of stuff. What's going on, Jessica? I see you. Vicky. Hey. So what we're going to be doing here is, like I was saying a bit ago, this is the framework behind how to become a six-figure author, or how to grow another six-figure tail, if you will, onto your author business. And so first of all, if you responded to those the email where I was like, help, and asked what are your most pressing questions. First of all, I wanted to thank you. Oh my word! First of all, it was massively beneficial. So what that allows me to do is better help you by putting it into a context that everybody is going to be able to understand, rather than just brain vomit from me. I can actually help you based on your stuff and what you want to do. So that was really cool. Thank you. And so the more you do that, the better the content I can deliver. So here's how all of this stuff is going to work. So for the next 30 days at least, I'm going to be doing one of these. We're going to keep it right in the 10-minute range, where I can deliver you some great information, give you some action steps, and then try to help you implement that stuff in your own business. Also, every week, what's going on? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Maeve? Am I saying that correctly? I'm horrible with names. I misspelled my own name in college a few times. It was actually kind of funny. But I digress. So on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a hot seat. And if you want to do that, I have a post that I made yesterday about that. Just, let me know the answers to those questions. I'm just going to be randomly picking somebody out of that, and then we're just going to deep dive into that. And also, I'm going to be getting on a bunch of industry, let's call them, experts and celebrities and whatever, to be doing the Zoom interviews and stuff. So it won't always just be me standing here in front of this board, which I may or may not write on. I did come prepared. I have my marker. But the stuff we're going to be covering, and I made a little bullet point so I don't forget. We're going to be going over, obviously, effective marketing. So the whole thrust behind this, how to sell more books, how to get more page reads, so whether you're wide or in KU, doesn't matter. We're going to be doing all that kind of stuff. Audience building, platform engagement, and then the biggest one that I kept seeing throughout all of those things were the newsletter growth. Yes, newsletter growth, but also, what do you do with those pesky little whippersnappers when you get them? So I'm going to show you that one, like how you actually can make all this stuff work. And so my goal for you at the end of this is that you're going to be able to develop an effective marketing plan. Because one of the biggest problems that I think I run into when, whether it's with agency people or just, emails that we get and whatnot, is that there's sort of like a chaos out there. I think everybody knows, like the cat's out of the bag, right? That you have to market. You have to be doing the marketing thing. And the reality is set in that can sometimes consume, like, say, 60, 70, 80% of your life, But then the thing that makes it even more crazy and insane and almost unmanageable, and the overwhelm and the confusion and all of the lunacy that happens, is because there's no real coherent strategery around that kind of thing. And so that's really the big sort of, behind the scenes thrust, if you will, is to get the strategery going so that y'all can have a coherent, non-chaotic approach to doing this so that you can spend more time focused on your books and things like that. And so this association, that's the whole point of it, is to help you achieve that so that, wherever you are, whether you're kicking butt and taking names, or whether you're just getting started, you can say, okay, here's a framework. And so as this stuff goes, and as this stuff burbles out, yes, I'm going to be making up tons of vocabulary. In fact, a lot of you are going to notice this, that I am a big fan of putting the incorrect emphasis on the wrong syllable, just to throw you off, make sure that you're paying attention. Okay? So, the thrust behind all of this, and you're going to be getting a bunch of action guides and things like that. So based off of all of these things that you'll be learning and that I'll be teaching and things like that, so that you'll be able to implement. So, obviously this video is plenty of rambling and whatnot, but I'm going to get to the meat of it right now. So all that stuff we're going to be breaking down over the next couple of weeks, and see if I can check my notes here. All right, let's just get into the why behind all of this. So if you've been doing this for any length of time, so I've been messing around in the self-publishing space since essentially 2006, before, Kindle was even a thing. And so when these things, oh, look at there. We have, been publishing for 20 years, but the short version, here's the short version of publishing. So since the Kindle, and that's really when I'm sort of beginning this, because what it did was it removed the barrier between you and the readers. And it used to be that you could simply publish, and that was good enough. And it was cool. It was great. It's boom, look at that. People found you and they could buy your books and they could read your stuff. And that was super, super awesome. And then, so that was about 2007, and then call it maybe 2012-ish. And that's what a lot of people refer to as like the golden years in that thing. And it was awesome. It was Wild West. It was super cool. People were, making tons of money, getting kind of famous, and it was wonderful. But then something changed, and it was the Amazon algorithm at that point. And so what it then required was, they couldn't let you just kind of go willy-nilly like it was. I created this cool concept called the Pulse many years ago and based a course around it. We have all these screenshots of students who did this. They would do free for 24 hours, and then boom, it would shoot them right up in there. And so there's, it was what Hunger Games was, super famous book series. You got Hunger Games 1, 2, 3, and then Special Dinners for 2, which was this little cookbook that this, a mom and daughter thing little group had put out. And it was awesome, and it worked great until then everything changed. And so it went from, you have to publish. So, let's use this board if we're going to stand here, right? All right, so publish. What's this one? Can you see that? Yeah, that's my handwriting. I'm amazing at this. All right, so you had to publish. And that was great, and that was like 07 to like 12 or something like that. And these numbers aren't perfect. Don't even put these in stone, but it's pretty close. And then what happened was everything kind of changed. People got sort of like, oh, it's mirrored. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even going to do this then. I'll just talk to you. This is better. Look at me learning this thing as we go. Together, all of us. So what ended up happening was after that little algorithm shift, it was sort of like the market, several things happened. First of all, word was getting out that there was no barrier to entry anymore. And so people were flooding into this marketplace like crazy. And it's just boom, 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 boom. And so then it became you had to publish and you had to advertise your stuff. So, okay, two things, not bad. But then there's been another development. In fact, there's been several developments. And it started to really take shape, morphing through 2015, 16, and into 17. And the biggest one of them was and if you've watched those videos that I've done on Author Platform Rocket, it is essentially the commoditization of the marketplace, where there are literally over 1 million books being published every year. It's insane. Like the deafening noise going on out there is just way over the top. And so what ends up happening is, if you think about this, digital books don't go away. They don't ever go away. And so it's millions of books and millions of books and millions of more books. And readers are having a very difficult time being able to tell the difference anymore. It's getting to be a really, really big deal. So that's the first part that has really changed, is that, you're now competing with millions of other people. The second piece is you're competing with way more people. You are competing with dinner time plans. You are competing with life. Everything has gotten so insane for everybody. I mean, look at the social media. You're competing with this entire thing right now. All right, so that's a really big deal. That's a lot of noise to contend with. So you have all these authors, you have all this other stuff going on, and this is where it gets really crazy. The ad platforms are maturing. It's not that they're getting bad. It's not that they're, Facebook's not viable or anything like that. But what's happening is they're maturing, and especially Facebook. So if a lot of you, when you wrote in your questions and things, had said, Facebook ads are just, really eluding you, that they had been doing great for a while, then they stopped. And that's accurate. That's actually accurate. And it's not that Facebook is not good for selling your books. In fact, it's brilliant for selling your books. I'm going to take you through an entire sequence of how you do it. But what's happened is it's changed because it's evolved past authors' ability to use it. Because, and here's why, Amazon doesn't give you data. I think we all know this, right? Amazon is this really open book of information about like where the traffic comes from and stuff. So the problem is if you're running an ad in Facebook that sends people to Amazon or iBooks or any of those guys, and the person clicks it and what happens after that? You don't know. And so we're going to be spending some time. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this so that you can use Facebook ads effectively, because they're way better than they used to be. You just have to do a couple of different things. And so now what you have to do, so it used to be publish, and then it was publish plus run ads. And now we are in the third thing of this. We're in the third sort of iteration, if you will. And that is you have to publish, you have to run ads, and you have to engage your audience. Because if you're not staying front of mind and if you're not standing out, you're not going to be heard. And so this reality has been felt by, authors earning multiple 5 figures every single month. And we've seen this kind of thing when you don't get out there and engage. And I'm going to give you very specific tactics and strategies, but especially I'm going to give you the reason why. I'm going to tell you why right now. So the good news in all of this is, number one, none of this is complicated. This is exactly not complicated. What are you saying, KL? That's exactly how I feel. Has gone by my brain capacity. Don't worry about it. I get where you're coming from. And, I operate in a couple of different marketplaces, as you might know. So I get to see this from a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different angles. And so what I can tell you is it's actually really simple. Because here's the thing. The delivery methods have changed. But people, people are exactly the same kind of person they've been since the dawn of humankind. And if you understand this one thing, is that people buy from those they know, like, and trust. Right? In every single situation. I mean, price is almost irrelevant. I know a lot of you would like to argue me on that one, but I'm not going to bother. Price is irrelevant. When you have built a bond with the people, then it's like, oh, you have a book? Great. So think about this. If you're front of mind and you're using tactics and techniques to stay front of mind with people, and you're doing it in a really cool, fun way, why wouldn't they buy from you? Because the trust factor in this is that you're going to deliver a story they want to read, right? I mean, that's really the beginning and the end of it. You don't have a huge thing outside of, write the stuff that you like, write, cater to that audience, do all those things. So here we go. The fun 2 things here that we'll talk about. So I told you there's 2 steps, and I want to have every video that I do for this live series to have very specific action steps that you can take with you. You can follow along with this stuff, and you can start to get results as we go. All right. So this is how you set yourself up to win. So the first step, and this is going to sound kind of maybe not all that but you'd be amazed that almost nobody does it. So the first thing is, where are you now? You have to take inventory, because here's the thing. If it can be measured, it can be changed. But the first thing you have to do is measure it. And so I want you to look at your entire writing career. Book sales, page reads. What are you doing for marketing? What actions are you taking on a daily basis? And I want you to write that stuff down. You don't have to post it. That's fine. But I want you to do it for you, so that you can say, okay, I currently have this many fans. I currently have this many newsletter subscribers. My open rates are this. My click-through rates are this. My sales are this. My page reads are this. When I launch a new book, I can expect this. And it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or ugly. Just be honest. That's it. Just say, I am here. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write the next piece. So this is piece number 2. I want you to write where you want to be. Because this is an extremely simple process that you go through. Because what we're going to be able to do, and as some of you come on the hot seats and things like that, I'm going to be asking this information of you. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? Because you know what you can do when you have these 2 data points? You can map a path to get there. Absolutely. And then what you do is you create your 30, 60, 90 plan. And what we're going to be doing this whole time is we're going to be setting up 30, 60, 90-day challenges. We're going to gamify the crap out of this. And y'all are going to have a damn good time, okay? So, that's all I have for you. Give me a second. I got to get some water, my word. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in this room for some reason. I think it's these lights up here. So I have a few minutes. Let's see. Sasha. Need to be making 5-6 figures a year. Been writing to market. I think when you start seeing what I'm going to break down for you, I think this is going to make a lot more sense. So if you want to do a couple of questions or anything like that, do you have time to write and release continuously for it to work? You're going to create daily rituals that allow that to happen, because what you're going to find is that Isabella? Yes, Isabella. Great question. Yeah, when you write, when you have a plan in place and daily action steps, because I call them like, what did I call them? Like micro actions. Because that's really, if you want to build this mountain of a business for yourself, it's going to take these daily micro actions and things in order for you to get there. You are the only thing that's actually doubled my royalties based on the buy-in. Awesome. Dude, I love that kind of stuff. That's really cool. Hopefully we'll do better next time. That's great. Also, folks, one quick thing. If you're finding this stuff helpful, if this is helpful stuff for you, what I would like you to do is sort of share this with your groups, because the goal here, literally, I'm not selling anything. Here you go. Share this stuff with the groups. I want this to be able to be out there as much as possible. Let's see. I have 5,000 person newsletter. Never sell books through it. The newsletter thing. Oh my. See, that's part of the engagement strategy, and you're right. So there's a 3-part sequence that we're going to be talking about, and I covered this in a bunch of other videos. Capture, connect, convert. And it's this middle finger right here that everybody seems to be skipping, because in the industry, of course, no, writing is none of you have the problem with writing. That's what I love about this. None of you have a problem putting in the work. Like you're all a bunch of workhorses. It's super crazy. It is the problem is in the systems, the processes, and then the psychology behind why it all works together. And this is the beauty, is that it's actually so simple when you understand the know, like, and trust factor. That's really it. So that's what I'm going to be kind of harping on with this kind of stuff. So like I said, please, if you find this information helpful, feel free to spread it amongst the stars. That's awesome. Share it with a friend, an author friend who you think might need, who might be able to benefit from this stuff. And then let me know what your questions are and what you would like me to be covering. For example, the newsletter. I think that was Isabella that said that with the newsletter and things. Because yes, absolutely. The reason the newsletter is such a difficult thing for folks, not to grow, I think people can do that, but it's what comes after the newsletter. Like once you have that, let's see, I write in 2 genres. Will this work for me? Joanne, if you write books that you sell to people, don't overcomplicate it. That's all it is. Yeah, it absolutely. Absolutely. If you write books that you sell to people, you're going to be just fine. Now, if you don't sell to people, we're going to have a different discussion, because I'm only good at selling things to people. But yes, it's all comes down to the relationship. And Miss Fifi, glad to find you as well. It'll definitely be a good time. Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for showing up on this first live. Obviously, this thing is on the internet now, so it's going to live on forever. Like I said, if you find this helpful, super cool. Please feel free to share it with author friends that might also help them. I'm getting notifications here. Hang on. Well, you can see the inside of my thumb for a minute there. Super professional. And so as we go about doing these things, they're going to get more fun and maybe a little bit more crazy. But I'll be doing another one of these tomorrow. Julia, thank you for coming on. Make sure you all watch the Mr. X interview. Let's see. So it won't matter that I'm a male who writes romance. Once again, if you're a person and you're writing books that are sold to people, I think you're going to be okay. I actually, we had someone applying for the agency a couple of weeks ago who was concerned because, you know, her English wasn't quite perfect when she spoke. And I'm like, why is that a problem? You know, it's completely fine. You're totally good. Yeah. So honestly, you know, and that's another thing is like, if you feel like, oh, this won't work for me because, let me know, honestly. Because I'll just say it, I can call bullshit on every single one of those things real quick. Because, and listen, we're people, I'm with you, me both. We all have stories we tell ourselves as to why something won't work. Or that it's not for you. You know, men can write romance. Are you kidding me? I have 4 romance books. Yeah. Let's see. Male romance authors? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. There's been male romance authors all over the place. So it's a good time. So yeah, don't let the voices in your head dictate the action, dictate your actions. The other thing that I'll kind of leave you with this is that, yes, Scott, yes, you will be able to watch these videos again because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save them into the group. And so, for example, I'll edit the description in this one. I'll say day 1 so that you can do that thing. Does that make sense? So I think we'll be all good there. Yeah, that was thank you, Scott. But yeah, this is going to become like a fairly epic video repository of, you know, various lunacy and things like that. But yeah, like I was saying, this is not something that's going to save your life overnight. All right, this is important. I want you to get this, is that there is no such thing as an overnight success. So we're going to be talking 30, 60, 90-day challenges, putting together stuff that, you know, helping you really, really, really kick butt and take some names. And so especially when it comes down to like your marketing strategy. And one of my mentors calls it a campfire. I prefer to call it the Parthenon, but we'll be talking about that this week. It's actually a very, very, very important idea and concept there. Let's see, that's what I need, a step-by-step plan to get going in. Absolutely. Christine, starting from scratch. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Start wherever you're coming from, honestly. Starting from scratch, or if you have like, I think someone wrote in the other day that over 100 books in their back catalog. Absolutely. Well, I forgot to mention that specifically. We're going to be talking about how to sell back catalog stuff. I mean, that's been since the dawn of all of this. It's like, how do I get my back catalog pulling more weight? I shall show you these things. So awesome. Thank you all so much for coming on. I hope you found this at least moderately valuable. Really quickly, again, let me kind of recap the 2 things. What I want you to do is look at where you are now. I want you to look at what are your daily writing rituals, what are your daily marketing rituals, you know, what are your fans, what is your newsletter looking like, what are your opens, what are your clicks. Look at every single thing that you can measure. And you can measure word count because that is absolutely vital. If you don't have a daily writing or a daily marketing ritual, it's going to be kind of, hang on a second. Man, these notifications are crazy coming through here. And be brutally honest. And like I said, if you want to, you can. If you want to share, that's fine. But be brutally honest with yourself. You know, and then the next piece, the second piece that I want you to do is I want you to look at where you want to be in like 30, 60, 90 and that kind of thing, you know, to eventually get you to where you're going to, because there's 2 things that need to happen. You need to write more books. You need to engage with more people so that you turn them into like buyers and fans and things like that. And so that's what we'll be going through this entire time. So anyway, I wanted to thank you all very much for coming. Sorry, that's mirrored. I forgot that was the Facebook Live phenomenon. So strange. It's like, I feel like I should be looking at the back of my head or something like that. So once again, I'm Johnny Andrews. This is the Author Marketing Association. I'm also the founder of Author Platform Rocket. And I will be seeing you tomorrow. All right? Thank you so much for coming. Have a good one.